What's up, everybody? It's Rick, and today we're here checking out a game called We the Revolution, brought to us by developer Polyslash and publisher Clabiter. First off, thank you, Clabiter, for providing me with a key to this game. This is a strategy game with a historical context taking place during the French Revolution, where we're going to play a tribunal judge, and we'll start presiding over cases of common people and then eventually work our way up to trying dangerous criminals and enemies of the revolution, all the while balancing our favorability with different factions. So there's a real strategy element to this game, but also the fact that it takes place during the French Revolution sort of scratches an itch for history nerds, which I kind of think I am one of. So we're gonna get a new game started here, and there is a prologue, so I'm just gonna zip my lips and let you guys watch this.
Father, I am here. Do you hear me? I gave you the best I could. Why did you disown me? I have your blood in my veins. How could you? Do I mean nothing to you? Why did you grieve for him? He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps. Father.
Very interesting. I wonder who that dead person was, and I wonder what the beef this guy has with his father is all about. I'm sure we'll find out as we proceed through the game. France, turn of the 18th century. Prologue. All right, so the beginning before the beginning. Okay. It seems much too early to be this drunk, and also in poor taste to be wiping your mouth with the French flag. I'm not French. I can't really say, but around my parts of the nation, it would be probably found disrespectful. All right, so we've got our first Raymond Devoy. Remind me next time that I want to stop drinking this cloudy rotgut. Remind me before I drink it. We're disgracing Themis. Someone's coming. Okay, so that was our drunk friend. Matilda Fidel. This was bound to happen. I told you. Papa, you said we would go. You promised. Papa had a lot of work. Yeah, a lot of heavy glasses. You promised me. I can't anymore. I'm fed up with asking. Wait, so this is Matilde Fidel. Little Frederic Fidel. Mama's angry because... This is Bernard Fidel. Quiet. Today your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father, so he started a fight. A 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Wait a minute. At first I thought this was the wife of this guy. No, this isn't Fidel. Are they talking to me? Am I this child's father? Oh, I can't try a case where I'm the judge and also the person. Wait, what? There's a conflict of interest here. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them, but, well, you were fighting for justice at an inn. Damn you, you bloody drunk. Mother. I think they're yelling at me. Documents and letters. Drag and drop documents to manage their layout. Click to display their contents. Okay. Events. React to events, ignoring them may have severe consequences. Notebook. Review detailed information about current events, actions, and characters. Verdict. Consider the effect and decide the defendant's fate. Okay, here's the settings. Hierarchy. Review the current balance of power in Paris and your position therein. Intrigues. Intrigues are complex conflicts between you and another political player. A defeat may turn out to be disastrous for you. Uh-oh. Influence points. Points are the main currency in-game. Use them wisely. Okay, so I have 3 at the moment. Notifications. Pay close attention to the changes in your influence and relations with factions. Oh, and a global modifier. Some of your decisions and changes in the world of the game may cause global modifiers to come into action. These factors affect relations, reputation, and influence. You can review them in the notebook. Okay, so I've got my news, my notebook, and my case file. Let's start with the news here. Make your decision. Each action may require a different number of influence points and have a different chance of success. Consider them carefully. Your addictions are no longer secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem. But who's spreading these rumors? It is likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered it into their children's ears whom they shouldn't play with and why. They might even have spiced the story up with a lie. But who will hear it next? So I can intimidate the parents. Let's talk eye to eye, or I can ignore. And I think this is where I use my points, of which I have 3. So if I were to intimidate the parents, I would use all of my points. I'm not ready to do that yet. My notebook here, relations. Negative relations with factions mean negative consequences for you. E.g., the fervor in Paris is rising. Reputation impacts everything in the world of the game. Factions, family relations, the audience's attitude, the fervor in the sections, and even the ability to persuade other characters. Influence points. You have a set amount of influence points per day. In the future, you will be able to increase this limit. So per day, I have 3 influence points. Got it. Okay. Got to use them wisely. And finally, the case file. Here we go. Review charges and facts. This will make it easier for you to unlock questions for the defendant. To Judge Alexis Fidele. Is it Fidel or is it Fidele? Fidele. Oh, you know what? Fidele is what it is, I bet. We did not expect this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play turned into an assault on our children. Our youngest, Anthony, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we will react more decisively. I'm sure we can deal with a gambler and a drunkard, even if he is a judge. We will not let our children be hurt. Ariel Dupont. I really feel like I shouldn't be trying this case. I really feel like there's a conflict of interest, but you know what? In revolutionary Paris, I guess things were a little bit different. Okay, so we've got some of the facts, right? We know that innocent child's play turned into an assault on Anthony. His front tooth was chipped. Okay. So from that, can we click on these? We can. Okay. Finding links. Find the correct links to unlock questions for the defendant. Choose a line of inquiry and link it to the right category. So if I were to say child's play, while linking lines of inquiry and categories, you can make a limited number of mistakes. If you make too many mistakes, the whole system will become locked. Okay, so I can make 2 possible mistakes. Traps. Some cases may contain traps. Read through the files thoroughly to find the lines of inquiry that are irrelevant. Okay, so we've got child's play. Can I okay, so we need to link that to, oh, here we go. So injured Anthony, victim, question discovered. Extenuating circumstances, or course of events. So I don't really know extenuating circumstances yet. I don't think so. I think we're ready to ask a question. Let's go back. And how do I ask? Let's click on my child here. Questions for the defendant. Who started the fight? Gather information and influence the jury's attitude by questioning the defendants. Unlock questions. To ask questions, you have to first unlock them in the inquiry linking menu. Being in the jury's good graces allows you to find out which way they will sway after you've asked a question. So I can't ask who started the fight. I can tell you who ended it. I think it was me. I kicked the one on the left and then wanted to get the one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. Okay, so I unlocked that one question, and there's no more questions unlocked, so I need to go unlock another one. So, fighting children, course of events. Child's play was a course of the event, right? So let's click there. Question discovered. Fighting children was a course of event. Question discovered. All right, let's go back and ask some questions. We've got, how did your play turn into a fight? Our neighbors, Anthony and John, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing guards, and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know. You were fighting both at once? I had to. What exactly were they saying? Are you too drunk to guess? Come on, Bernard. Get off your high horse. I wasn't asking you. They were yelling that you are, well, I told them it was not true, and they started calling me names. They called me a drunkard son. Well, I mean, it's mean of them to say, but it's kind of true from what I understand. Okay, so is that all the questions I have now? There's one more question unlocked. Let's see here. If I were to... Possibility of repeating extenuating circumstances. Victim, a chipped tooth. I guess that... There we go. All questions unlocked. Did you really break Antony's tooth? Frederic is just a child. I don't know. I don't think so. Did you hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. They're framing my son. They're framing my baby boy. Okay, so all questions are unlocked, so I can't unlock any more. So what do I do now? I need to review the news, perhaps? I can, guess, talk eye to eye with, let's see, your addictions are no longer secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son is a minor problem, but who's spreading the rumors? I'm going to try this out. Let's talk eye to eye. So I've lost one of my influence points, my daily influence points, and I have a notification here. Okay, that's just telling me that. Hierarchy, I want to go here real quick. Okay, so this is me, Fidele, a judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal, so I can start to work my way up. Just trying to see if there's any other information before I make a decision here. Oh, there's other tabs here. I can switch the tabs. Neighborhood gossip. Oh. Okay, so we've already seen that. That's just another way of seeing the events. And then this tab here. Friends and family. Matilda Fidele, born in Paris. She never's been outside the city. A woman seen as a perfect wife. She takes care of the household and the children and looks after her husband's elderly father. She doesn't show it outright, but she is determined to protect her children at all costs. How come she doesn't show it outright? I mean, I feel like that's nothing to be ashamed of. Just, yeah, be proud that you'll defend your children at all costs. It's okay. There's Bernard Fidele, a slender and handsome young man. The weight of current developments in France is slowly dawning on him, igniting a revolutionary zeal in his heart. He thinks that the revolutionary judges should only be appointed from the lower classes of society because only such people can be considered untainted. Okay, I wonder if at the beginning of the game, if it was my son who was saying, "Father!" We'll find out. Frederic Fidele, my little baby boy, naive and innocent, which is completely normal for a boy his age. He idolizes you and wants to be just like you. Even if he occasionally disobeys his mother, he carries out his father's will to the letter. His favorite toy is a wooden sword that he always carries at his side. In his imagination, he fights against villains just like his father does in real life. He likes to carve small wooden figurines. There's Alderic Fidele, once a moderately well-off merchant, today a bitter old man left with nothing but a feverish vision of impossible vengeance against the Renard family, who once deprived him of his dreams. For several years, he was unable to adequately provide for his family, to give his children the same standard of living as they used to enjoy. Since you secured your new position at the court, your family was once again able to live a fairly acceptable life, and your father again began dreaming of returning to his former trade. However, Alderic had grown too old and too tired to revive his long-lost career. Instead of enjoying the prestige and wealth of the Fidele family, he had to bear witness to the Renard family's rise to power. And then there's finally Raymond Devoyer. This is my mentor, who I think I was getting drunk with, who is also present in the court. A man who's lived long enough to fully realize that the justice isn't always the right answer. In his line of work, in these troubled times, the only thing that matters is survival instinct. At times, it must go against the interests of other people. A man with such a mindset knows that one must keep an open ear both in the parlors and in the back alleys. The blind Themis appears to him as a bedtime fable, fit at best for novice law students. Perhaps he perceives too many shades of gray morality to remain an effective judge. Okay, so we've read it all. We've checked it all out. As far as what I can do now, what do I do now? I've read the letter, the case file. I've read the notes. Do I make a verdict now? Punishment. Make the most important decisions, condemn the defendant, or deem them not guilty. See, how can I deem my son guilty or not guilty? This is like that riddle where it's like, I can't work on this boy, he's my son. And then the doctor was the mother. Signature. Okay, so I sign it too. Unavailable in this case is intelligence. I need to make a verdict here. Well, you know what? He's my baby boy, not guilty. I find them not guilty. By order of me, Judge Fidele. I've made my choice. You did well. A man has to defend the honor of his family no matter what. Those children are so small and they already know the truth. The father of my children is a lying drunk and a gambler. Bernard used to worship you, but he soon grew up. Now it's Frédéric's turn to learn the truth that echoes in the streets. He's no longer fearing your anger. He knows that your threats are empty. Frédéric is the only starting to learn the truth about his father from the streets. I was unaware that Matilda had such a temper. As was I. We will wait outside, as always. My wife is not happy with me, guys. I need to work on this relationship, all right? My marriage is falling apart, much like society in France.
Paris.
Liberté!
Oh, she is mad, guys, and my son is indifferent.
By the idea of freedom.
But my little baby boy is adorable. Look at, he loves his papa.
Resist it. Whole families took to the streets.
Oh, jeez.
France was never so happy. We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
I really love the art. It is a beautiful game. Act 1. All right. Now things are really going to start to happen. Liberté. Day 1. So we have a basic understanding of the mechanics now. Now we need to put them into action. Expected sentence. Ooh, this is where the jury starts to play into things. Find out which verdict is expected by one of the factions and your close ones. Okay. So we've got prison, acquittal. Okay, so this guy is on trial. The punishment, prison. And here we go. We've got our case file. We've got our protocol. We've got our verdict, our notebook, our news. Okay, so let's take a look at the case files here. Compiled by Charles Etienne, one of the local merchants, Guy Denou. These French names, I'm going to butcher them. Bear with me. Went to the National Guard station near the halls. With a raised voice, he stated that the owner of the neighboring stall had purposely poured wood tar into his barrel of herrings. For this supposed crime, Denou demanded a proper punishment. Soldiers went to the halls and established that the herrings did indeed taste awful. Since there was no evidence of the crime, they did not take any action. A few hours later, the guards returned to the halls. This time, it was the formerly accused Jean Corbet. Is it Corbis? Not Corbis. It's got to be Corbet. I don't know. How do you pronounce French names? I'm just going to pronounce it like an American who doesn't know French names. Corbis, who called for them, and there was a plethora of evidence on site. The clearest being Denou himself, smashing his neighbor's stall with a long wooden pole in front of witnesses. Okay, so no evidence of the tarring. Definitely evidence of smashing with a pole. All right. Let's go back and take a look at the other letter here. I would like to report that Citizen Corbus does not pay the city for his stall. Furthermore, he openly criticizes the new rule when talking to his clients. Okay, so this is just kind of circumstantial, I would say at best. Let's take a look at the evidence we have, huh? So, offender's personality, counter-revolution, instrument of crime, crime scene. Okay, so wooden pole was an instrument of crime. There we go. Question discovered. Instrument of crime was also... Can I also click on... Oh, actually, I can't click the wood tar now because I'm only looking at this instrument of crime, I do believe. Oh, crime scene. Let's see. Stall next to the entrance. That's the crime scene. There we go. Open a question there. Offender's personality. Counter-revolutionary. Oh, incorrect link. Excuse me. Oh, that's counter-revolutionary propaganda, which would go here, obviously. Question discovered. Old denunciation is the personality. There we go. All questions unlocked. Let's start questioning this fella. Your name? Dunno. Fresh fish since 1772. And a vandal since yesterday? I'm not proud of what I did, but enough is enough. Really? Like when 6 months ago you stole 8 francs from my revenue? Some urchin took that from your pockets while you were... Silence! You shall not speak until questioned. Okay, jury. Systematically opposing the opinion of the jury may lead to serious consequences. So I can't not do what the jury wants me to do unless I want to suffer the consequences. Right now, it seems like acquittal is the way that they're leaning because I think it's lit up. But what produces Citizen Corb, or what products do they sell? It would appear that your conflict has continued for some time now. We have found your denunciation of Citizen Corbus. Citizen Corbus, come closer. Okay, so this is questions for the defendant. I'm going to ask, come closer. Okay, do you really dispute the new order? Is it true that you took Guy Deneau's place at the entrance of the halls? Let's ask about that. He took the place first from a dead merchant. I only did the same at a convenient time. Was that your first conflict? In the late 70s, when the tight-fisted churl asked me to lend him 30 francs, it took me 2 years to get it back. Citizen Deneau, I can see that you wish to add something, but please refrain from doing so. Questions for the witness. Why did you have a wooden tar with you that day? A few hours passed between Citizen Deneau's visit and the station and your vandalism. Why did you have the tar? I sell fruit, but my suppliers sometimes buy wood tar because it repels pests. And why did you pour it into Citizen Deneau's barrel? I did nothing of the sort. He probably poured it himself, as so to denounce me again. Liar! Quiet you in the back. I did not tell you to talk. Okay, so I'm going to ask you now. What products does Citizen Corbus sell? Fruit and vegetables. And you sell fish? Straight from Yeport and Petits Dales. I see, then why did one of you come to the halls with wood tar and the other with a wooden pole? Citizen? I don't remember. That stick must have been lying near the stall. Corbus, however, clearly planned his actions. We have found your denunciation of Citizen Corbus. It would appear that your conflict has continued for some time. Yeah, it's continued. You guys have been building up this animosity. Let's talk about that. It all started when that scoundrel placed his stall where mine should be, next to the entrance. It wasn't your place. You took it after Chukwit. Silence! And you have not been able to reach an agreement ever since? Now that I think of it, it may have started even earlier. Jean once refused to pay for a red mullet taken by his wife. My whole family fell ill because of that rotten carcass. You should be happy I didn't. Must I repeat myself? Be quiet or you will both be in more trouble than you already are. Okay, so we have found your denunciation of the Citizen Corbus. Why did you write it? He did it because I started selling sprats. Shut up already, Monsieur le Juge. I just wanted to help the city. Every stallholder pays for their place in the halls. Corbus should pay too. You liar and crook. Don't you remember hiding the royal collector at the butcher's? Silence. I was trying to avoid royal taxes. You only started after beginning of the revolution. Be quiet, both of you. These guys are really testing my patience. All right, so he hasn't been paying taxes since the revolution started. And he was only not paying taxes to the royal tax collectors who, you know, we all hate, right? Protocol, review this trial's record. Let's see here. Okay, so this is everything that's happened so far. That's what the protocol's all about. Let's look at the news real quick. Neighborhood gossip. The exchange of pleasantries did not take long. Most people stopped being brave the moment they faced danger. This time, the dangerous could be described as the judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal and a 1-meter-long bludgeon in the hand of a guard. Once the last words had left your mouth, the man's gaze dropped to the ground. He did not even look at the weapon held by the guard, who was eager to hear just one word of objection. That should deal with the problem. So what happened? Effects. Reputation +2. I'm not sure what just happened there. The exchange of pleasantries did not take long. Most people being brave the moment they faced the danger. This time, the danger could be described as the judge. So that's me. And a 1-meter-long bludgeon in the hand of a guard. Once the last words left your mouth, the man's gaze dropped to the ground. Is this something that I tried that I'm not aware of? I guess it is. Okay. Interesting. So the UI, I will say, the UI is a little bit confusing because there's so much going on. But is there anything new that I can question about? There's not, is there? All the questions have been unlocked. What about this paper? Anything new? They're all the same things, right? Yeah, I can't unlock anything new. As far as... Okay, so... It looks like the way that the jury... So the jury's opinion is prison. Okay. Is there anything that I can do to sway that? I think that I just need to make a ruling. Have I done everything I can do? I guess I have. Like, I want to ask more questions, but I feel like I'm at the end of my rope. So I think I just got to sentence them to jail time. So, select a verdict to see its influence on the faction. So, if I sentence them to prison, risk of death, reputation bonus, let's see. The jury's vote in favor of incarcerating the defendant. They find the punishment sufficient. So, I'm going to say prison. There we go. So, my standing with the common folk will rise. My standing with the revolutionaries will fall. But I've got to say prison, because that's the way that the jury wants me to vote. So, prison it is. It seems that Parisians will have to start buying fish elsewhere. Citizen to know, I sentence you to prison for vandalism. Better warn the guards that they won't have an easy life. I do not believe that people will be happy with such a severe penalty. Well, what do you want, man? Jury, you were I know that a lot of you weren't leaning towards prison, but more of you were. So, jury influence, I got that. Okay, so moving on after a trial, click to move on to the next part. So there we go, moving on past day 1 into day 2, I suppose. May I remind you that you promised to join me. I have a feeling that tonight's moon favors gambling. Okay, Jacques-Louis David, excuse me. I know that much. David is the way that you say that in France. I know that. Though it does not favor spouses. God should grace us with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know that right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. I should go. You should go home, Alexei. Bring a judge to a game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. That is not a strong argument. My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You are a sly politician, Jacques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises. And you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. I'm going to go home. Not tonight, Jacques. I got to be a good papa, all right? I've got a little boy looking up to me. So that night, they're drunkenly gambling. I'm a good papa at home with my family, eating me some delicious heart-shaped whatever this is. And my wife's smiling for once. See that? I did right. I did right by her. For once. Good judge. Good judge. But, I mean, I'm sure that my standing will probably drop a little bit with that politician. Okay, later that evening at the judge's house. Ooh, now I get to actually interact with my wife. What? The silent treatment. Do you not want to berate me like you always do? I'm glad you're home. Are you aware that Rik sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor? He dreams that you visit distant countries and have wonderful adventures. But he would rather have you by his side on land. We all want that. I don't want to watch the storm blow your lifeboat away and bury it beneath waves. There are no waves. The storm's getting closer. Dark clouds already hang over the shore. Just wait until they finish building the guillotine. Your oars will break at once, and the waves will take you to a place you'll wish you'd never set foot on. A place without us. Man, I was having a good night. Your family loves you, but we won't find you in the darkness that has already begun to reach for you. It's got to be tough being a judge during the revolution. It's got to be. Family actions. Upon returning home, you can decide how you would like to spend the rest of your day, okay? Various actions. Each action will affect the other members of the family as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you certain bonuses, e.g. reputation or relations with factions. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. Take good care of him. Well, that's really good to know. In that case, I'm going to go see my baby boy. Can I, you have to choose an action to see. Yeah, I want to, oh, this is what I can do. I can do an evening stroll, a demonstration, paragraphs, and a political, I'm going to do a demonstration for my son, Rik. Take your son to a pro-revolution demonstration. Let them see real life up close. Okay. What's the other stuff I can do? Bernard's musical interest notwithstanding, he needs to learn some more perspective skills. It's time for the grown men to talk about revolution's achievement. No, not the grown men. Take your family for an evening stroll around Paris. It will let your father stretch his old bones a little. So, I can take my sons to a revolution, but you know what? An evening stroll, I feel like that'll be less pressure on the poor boy. Evening stroll it is. Oh, my standing with my papa dropped. Probably, he wanted to stretch his old bones, but apparently that wasn't good for him. But you know what? I think my standing with my little boy just went up, so that's good. You know what? I don't care about it. Impressing my papa, okay? I've been trying to do that my whole life. Impress papa. I'm over it, papa. Today, the people of Paris commemorate Jacques-Guillaume Simonu, mayor of, oh my goodness, these names, Etampes. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolize the unity of our society and the hope that most violent stage of the revolution is past us. Let us make sure that no other royal servant of France becomes a victim to such hatred ever again. King Louis. Oh, King Louis, I got bad news for you, man. It is not going to end well for you. Simonu was a good, loyal officer. Those bastards lynched him for observing the law. Will you join me at the march? No? I am more interested in the living. Even though I do agree that Simenu's death was horrible. I wonder why the king has taken the trouble to show up. Louis the 16th marching arm in arm with the people of Paris. That is unexpected. Wait. King Louis... Oh, wait. This isn't King Louis, is it? Continue, please. I am merely an observer. The king is here? I heard a thing or two about a young and ambitious judge at the tribunal. I was curious whether he's guided by justice or by entertainment, as some would say. The king's gonna observe this? For real? Okay. That is the king, right? Louis, I imagine. All right. Let's take a look at the notes here. The defendant is Olivier Mugler, a 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert on unopenable locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owners of the Parisian glassworks, Jean Roudet, Louis Roux, and Ferdinand Salon, to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest creation as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialist houses were hit by a series of burglars committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vian. The thief from Orleans was caught in the act and shot by Ferdinand Salon. An expensive Turcotte map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialist marked on it was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Salon had given Mugler an identical map as advance payment. His deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration from all the employers. So an expensive map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialists was found on the deceased, and Salon had given Mugler an identical map as advance payment. Okay. So Salon had paid him to construct the lock for a chest, had given him the map. So Mugler, the locksmith, was given that map as payment and then presumably gave that map to the burglar, who then went on to rob everybody. Okay, so this is like an inside job sort of a situation. Okay, so we have the map of Paris. We have the master locksmith. So the master locksmith is the, or let's see, course of events. Let's see. So there was a series of burglaries, marks on the map, a drunken evening. Let's talk about that real quick. Robbing the bourgeois is no crime. According to the case file, you are citizen Olivier Mugler. Is that correct? Indeed it is, monsieur le juge. May I have a request? I would like to sit down. I am an old man, you see. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing. Do the names Salon, Roudet, and Rowe mean anything to you? Why are you so determined to harass an old man? They sound like the names of my debtors. Debtors? They are the victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? Okay, the debtors. So they were in debt to you. Presumably you're trying to collect, huh? Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So, series of burglaries, famous thief, marks on the map. Let's talk about marks on the map. That seems like it's evidence. There we go. Let's talk about that. Did you know Hector Vian before? Were you the one who marked the addresses of the 3 victims on your map? Let's talk about that. I didn't mark anything. The houses of your clients are marked on the map. I don't know who marked them. Maybe you should ask the person you found the map on. Maybe the court made the marks and has no memory of doing so. Do you not think there are too many coincidences in your story? You obtain the map, but lose it, and then it's found on the thief who's robbed your clients? I know nothing of coincidences. I only make locks. Okay. Did you know Hector Vion before? This is the first time I've heard the name. That's interesting, as you were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Margot Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced themselves as Hector. I didn't plan any heist with Hector, Victor, or Hugo. I'm a locksmith, and I earn a good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. Okay, they're leaning towards jail now, but here's the thing. He went and had drinks. He could have had drinks with this guy. Maybe this burglar knew that he had access to all of these rich people, and so maybe got him drunk in order to get some information out of him. Okay. So, let's see about the famous thief. So, would this be under evidence, the famous thief, or accusation? Course of offense, it wouldn't be extenuating circumstances, would it? It's not accusations. Is it evidence? Okay, there we go. It's evidence. Did you give Hector Vion the map? I gave nothing to Achilles, Hector, or any other Greek. Call in the witness, citizen Jean Roudet. Ooh, witness time. Okay. Jean Roudet in the flesh. Will you not speak unless called upon? Naturally, of course. Okay. What went missing during the burglary? My house was the first one to be robbed, and in my case, it was mostly valuables. At Rose's house, he will not say it himself, and I do not want to go to prison. It was the letters he had exchanged over the years with King Louis. Damn monarchists! Salon did not lose a thing. He shot that vermin in the act. That is what he said. What happened to the items he had stolen? That still remains unknown. Accordingly, Salon Hector had nothing with him. Ferdinand suspects he had hidden the other valuables somewhere. He hid the other items before robbing the last house? Strange. That is strange. You look upset. What are you afraid of? Advance payment in the form of a map, its disappearance, the murder of a burglar, and a lack of payments for services. You look upset. What are you afraid of? Monsieur le Judge, the crowd behind me, and you know. Know what? I do not want to go to prison, and Salon said that if I were to talk nonsense in court, I would be sentenced to a few years. Is that true? Citizen Ferdinand Salon instructed you on what to testify. No, well, he might have offered some suggestions on how not to get in trouble by speaking gibberish. I'm a rather nervous person, and sometimes I struggle to make sense. Okay, it sounds like there is a plot against this old man. A fool more than a witness. That's our bourgeoisie. I feel like these bourgeoisie are really setting up this locksmith. Like maybe they were in debt to him, and in order to clear their debt, they're going to have him imprisoned. Ooh, you guys. Okay, we need to get some more questions for the defendant. The case thickens. So, series of burglaries, construction of lock, master locksmith, map of Paris. So, course of events, I think that's this one. There we go. Let's talk about the lock construction, shall we? You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. It was me, naturally, and all in agreement with the contract. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see whether the work was completed and pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site at the client's property. None of those idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Curious. Does that mean you knew the addresses of the victims? How else could I get there? Blindfolded on a wagon? Ooh, they did not like that answer. The jury just said, like, okay. We did not like sassy locksmith, okay? Sassy locksmith gets prison time. Map of Paris. So that's evidence, all right? Let's talk the evidence here. Do you recognize this map? No, I don't recall ever seeing it before. Ferdinand Salon claims that he gave this to you as advance payment for your services. Why would I guess maps were kind of highly regarded back then, but it seems a strange form of payment. I would just prefer money. He claims what? That wicked wretch of a second-rate merchant, he gave me a scrap of paper as payment for making 3 locks and says it's supposed to be worth more than 3,000 francs he owes me. And honest labor is being judged while frauds remain at large. Wow. From Louis. That's not the king, by the way. That's got to be some other Louis. Silence! So this map does belong to you. It doesn't. So where is the map that you received from Citizen Salon? I lost it, but it wasn't even worth a loaf of bread, so I surely won't shed a tear. But if you have it, maybe you stole it from me. You'd better make a note that Olivier Mugler demands remuneration from Roudet, Rowe, and Salon. Okay. Your son's drawing. Poor papa. Oh, cute. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my son left a little note here. Good relationship with your wife. Good relationship with your younger son. I like it. Okay. Just open this up to see if there's anything in here that is of any consequence to us. I guess not. Okay. So... click here, and we've only got a couple more things here. Series of burglaries. This is course of events. Let's talk about this. Did you tell Hector Vion how to open the trunks? I understand what you're implying, but consider this. If he sold the secret of my locks, then my business would be over. Word spreads fast amongst thieves. True. Okay. I feel like I want you to elaborate on that. I wish that there were ways to get you to elaborate. Master Locksmith. So this is offender's personality. Yes, let's do this. How much did you charge for your services? 3,000 francs. Tidy sum, that is. If you were a master locksmith, you'd charge that much too. That is quite a substantial fee. Indeed, that's how much it costs to have high-quality locks made by a master with nearly 50 years of experience. And those bastards never paid me a single franc. The victims did not pay you the agreed amount? Not a franc. I'd beat that money right out of them, but I'm too old for that. Oh! Okay, all right. So now we're on to something here, guys. And this is good because the people want me to release him, right? So if I get an acquittal, then I'm going to make the people happy. They don't want me to rule in favor of the bourgeoisie. It's not very revolutionary of me. Okay, so Master Locksmith, let's do extenuating circumstances. Let's talk about that. Rumor has it that you are one of the best locksmiths in Paris. I should deny it for modesty's sake, but I will not. That cannot be true, though, as a random thief from Orleans was easily able to open your locks. Well, then, he must have been one of the best thieves in Orleans. Let's be serious, Monsieur le Juge. Every lock can be picked with the right talents, even my locks. Okay, good. Nothing changed as far as the jury's opinion goes. That was the last question to ask. So now I get to make the verdict. Prison or acquittal. So I want an acquittal. Acquittal's going to be good. Acquittal's going to raise the favor of the common folk, but it's going to drop the favor of the revolutionaries. I risk being removed from office if I go too low. But I like being liked by the common folk. So I'm going to go ahead and sign my name to this. And it's the way the jury would want me to vote. I don't want any serious repercussions from voting against the jury. The verdict for citizen Olivier Mugler is not guilty. Lead the defendant away. Bravo, Mugler! Away with the bourgeoisie! To be honest, this does bear the marks of social justice. They would not pay him, so he had them robbed. There is balance here. Well, if you believe that he had them robbed, that is. All right, so we've solved yet another case. And so it seems the way that I've played the game, I've had all of the questions unlocked. there was only one way this was going to shake out, right? And that was with an acquittal. But if I picked and choose my answers in order to maybe sway the jury to vote a certain way, in order to gain favor with one faction over another, then I, as the judge, could sort of manipulate things a little bit. So there is that strategy element to this. I don't want you guys to think that there's only one way to play the game. As the game progresses, I'm sure that these decisions of manipulation are going to play into this game even more and more. And so far, this is pretty good. The stories are pretty great. The mechanics, I talked about the UI. There is a lot happening here. So it is going to take a little bit of time before you just naturally know where to look for all the things. But good enough, man. This game is a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it for anybody who is either a history nerd or a strategy enthusiast or both. That's where we're going to wrap up this look, however, at We the Revolution, a game that is available now. If you guys are interested, there's going to be a link for it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. If you guys got questions for me, if you guys want to comment on my butchering of all of these French names or anything else, just go ahead and leave comments down below. Be kind to me, though. I'm just going to say that before you guys comment. And if you guys did enjoy this, I hope you guys did, be sure to give it a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and come back next time. I'll see you guys then.